Miguel Diaz, other than Johnny, is essentially the protagonist of Cobra Kai. I've analyzed how he's overall the perfect student since he has a balance of both styles and philosophies, and we see somehow after building this in Season 3. We get Season 4, which focuses on a different arc for Miguel, which is fatherhood. This too was not only a unique direction, but was nice to see other than Miguel just being the perfect student again. Like, we already see how he can wield both styles at this point and how he managed to pick up traits from both Danny and Johnny, but now he needs to figure out his past. Season 5 starts off with Miguel in Mexico trying to get his way around trying to find his father. He'd get his backpack stolen with him trying to give his money instead of dropping them on their skull, which he could have, but he doesn't. That's because Miguel at heart isn't really that much of a fighter or doesn't like picking fights. But we do see that he does get into a little bit of a fight when needing to after falsely accusing someone of being his father. And shortly after this, he would unironically find him. He'd save his girlfriend's child, which would lead into Miguel eating dinner with them and talking to his dad one-on-one. He doesn't seem so bad, and Miguel would even figure out he doesn't even know he exists, which he would just really be upset at his mom for not telling him. But Hector even acknowledges that he feels like he knows Miguel from somewhere, but he can't really put a finger on it. This leads into him and Hector hanging out at an MMA ring where the female body inspectors show up, which gets Hector all freaked out. He thinks Miguel is with the police, which gives Miguel second thoughts about him. And that's when he definitely knows that he doesn't want to be like his dad or want anything to do with him, because right after this they would go and hide out where he would basically say to Miguel, "F him and his whole family." Unintentionally to him, but you know, he said it to his family. This crushes Miguel, and he would call his mom to tell her firsthand, but that's when Johnny would arrive as this was happening, with him calling out to Miguel, showing that deep down Johnny is the father figure in Miguel's life. Now initially I was afraid of Season 5 taking too long diving into Miguel's story, but it's a heavy focus in the first few episodes, which is why it ends somewhat on a short notice, but I think these episodes were fun, and honestly it was great to see Miguel exploring something outside of I can fight again or I'm less angry than before. I'm not trying to dumb down the other arcs, but you looking at Miguel's arc at face value in seasons 4 through 5 is just like me saying the arcs in seasons 2 and 3 were lame because he didn't win. Like, please do better. Now we know Miguel sees Johnny as his father, but he unfortunately is also the father to the one guy who put him in the worst part of his life. And this leads into Miguel's next arc in season 5, that being forgiving Robbie. Initially he thinks they're on the same side, but then Miguel sees Robbie with the Cobras and almost picks a fight with him on multiple occasions. But then this leads into them getting their steam out through fighting, oddly enough, and Miguel would go on to overpower Robbie and is about to pull a season 2 Robbie until it's revealed that he doesn't. Because Miguel is not the type to get revenge, he doesn't want to use his skill to prove he's better, he just wants balance and to be strong, which he already proved. This allowed Robbie and him to finally make up, and we see the two just being the best of brothers throughout the rest of season 5, and it's great. Because these guys aren't acting like Riverdale teenagers and are finally maturing as people. And I love how anytime Kenny and Miguel interact, it's just Kenny being sort of scared with Miguel. Like, please don't mess with the Goat Cobra, bro. Don't mess with him. Now in season 5, we see Miguel also go through another arc that I sort of ignored because this arc is simply the weakest arc he has in season 5. But it's not so bad because, like, okay, the fatherhood arc was great and the Robbie stuff was even better. But Miguel and Sam's relationship in general is just a mess. But I do somewhat understand why Sam breaks up with him. But oh my god, bro, like, Miguel, this is corny. But these two deep down do realize that they give each other strength, showing Miguel's encouragement working and allowing her to overcome Devin and simply work it out because they love each other. You know, maybe this arc isn't so bad. Okay, the stems of how we got here are bad, but this isn't so bad. And this is how season 5 perfected Miguel. And I'm back on my grind. A sucker grabbed my lifeline, told me in my lifetime my name will help light up the Chicago skyline, and that's what I am. 7 o'clock, that's prime time. Haven't I watched God calling from the hotlines? Why he calling me from the hot?